Hello, so welcome to my channel. I just wanted to do a quick little walkthrough of Airtable with you. I know Airtable can be intimidating at first, and believe me, I was very intimidated by Airtable when I first started using it. But once you get these basics, you're going to love it and you're going to use it so efficiently. You're not going to know. You're going to want to do all of your systems in Airtable. Let's just put it that way. All right, so before we get started, I want to just quickly thank you for being here on my channel so that I can help you with all the tech tips and tricks. So what I want you to do is make sure you subscribe and click the little bell down below so that you can never miss a video. Let's get into it. So basically, Airtable is a amazing spreadsheet. It can do so much. So I'm sure you're familiar with like Excel and Google Sheets, and if you're not really missing anything. I mean, they are awesome programs, and I do use Google Sheets and Excel for other things, but there are certain things that just Airtable takes the cake on. Like, it's just the ultimate spreadsheet. So let's just go through a quick basics of what Airtable is. So when you go to Airtable, you're going to see this. So these are called your workspaces. So this is my Tech About Math workspace, and it has these are called bases. And so when I click into one of these, it'll show a base for the workspace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this base, and this is going to be like a little base walkthrough for you so that you can get an overview of the terminology and things like that, so that when you are using Airtable, you know what I'm talking about when I share with you the awesome things that Airtable can do. So the first thing I want to talk about is what a record is. A record is basically a row. So you'll see expand record, and it'll just expand it'll have all of the fields, that's what these are called, for the entire row. So that brings me to field. So a field is the column that is in the row. So like here we have three records in this Airtable, and it has three fields: the name, the attachments, and the status. Now, when you are adding a field, you can add it by clicking this plus button, or you can right click and then insert right or left, like you would on any other spreadsheet. What's awesome about Airtable is you don't have to just have a field for like numbers and then like have it change to be formulated differently and whatever. You can have a field be basically anything. So the most common ones that I use are linking to another record, which is pretty advanced, so you don't have to worry about that one yet. So single line text, that's the name right here. A long text, so if you want to add notes, you can also enable rich text formatting, which means basically you can put bold text in there. So when you open it, you can just start typing. And then what you can do is you can make certain things bold or italicized or whatever if you enable the rich text formatting. So that's the notes field. We also have, that's the long text, I mean. Then we have the attachments. So basically you can add images, videos, things of that nature in a field. Checkbox is what it is. It's just a literal checkbox. If you pay for Airtable, you have other options, but you don't need to. It's free, and free is awesome. The multiple select option is really cool. So if you want to select more than one thing, so basically it's like multiple choice, but multiple select, obviously. And then single select is multiple choice. If you're adding these ones, what you want to do is you want to make sure you add options. So let's say I wanted to make this we have status already. That's a single select. So let's say this is like standards or whatever. Then, so I would just double click to get back into there, and I can do like for OA1, for OA2, and so on and so forth. And you can keep adding options. You can change the colors of the options. If you upgrade, like I said, you get more colors, but you can make do with what you have, I'm sure. Another thing that I love to use is the collaborator feature. So if you are working with a co-teacher and you want to collaborate and make sure you're planning who's doing what, you have that collaborate feature. The date, phone number, email, URL. These are all the things that you can add. Like I said, the ones that I use are mostly like the first 10. And then down here, it gets a little bit more intense, I guess you could say, more intricate, but you don't have to worry about those ones. The Airtables that I have for you, that are done for you and ready to go, only involve the easy peasy ones at the top that you'll be good with. So those are the different fields that you can have. Now let's talk about the different views. So I'm actually going to add a date field really quick so that we have one. And I'm going to just add some information to this record. So let's say my name. I'll add a quick photo. It's just a product cover that I have. We'll do status in progress, standards. Oh, I thought I added some standards. 408.1, 408.2. Save. Okay, and then date. I'm going to leave the date blank because I want to show you something cool. So what's cool about Airtable is similar to Google Forms, where you create a form and then you send it to a spreadsheet. Airtable kind of flips it, so you would create your spreadsheet first and then create your form. So if I wanted to create a form with this, I would click the form button and I can remove all the fields. So this is a blank form right now. So because if I don't want to put all the fields there, I don't have to. So I can just do name and date. And I can just drag it. Where is it? Oh, right here. And then date. And I can just drag it right underneath. And then now it's just a 2-question form. The other fields are left blank and not on the form so that I can fill that in separately from the grid view. So it didn't delete from here, but it's just here. And you would share the form or open the form the same way you would, like similarly to Google Forms. So you would just open the form and then you can see it. You can't add a picture at the top unless you pay for it. But like I said, simple is fine. You don't have to pay for it. So then this is how you would fill out the form. There are settings to the form down here. You can change the message at the end. You can show submit another response, show a new blank form automatically, and then have it email you whenever a form is completed. So that's the form view. So I'm only going to go over the form, calendar, gallery, and Kanban view. So calendar is really cool because, well, you have to have a date option in there, which is what I did for you before, so I wanted to show you that. So it'll show your records here that don't have a date, and all you have to do is click and drag it to the date. So this is really good if you're trying to schedule when you're going to conference with your students or when your lesson plans are going to be, and then you can easily just click and drag and rearrange it, and it changes in the grid view too. You can see here that it's added the date in there, populated that in there for me. And if I change it, so like right now mine is on the 25th, let's move it to the 27th and see what happens. Oh, it moved it to the 27th. So that's the calendar view. Now we have the gallery view, which is if you have images on all your records, you can have gallery view. So like, let's say you're trying to put a name to a face for your students, and you can quickly upload a photo that you take on your phone of your kids so that you can put a name to a face, or even for a sub, if you have a sub and you want them to know who's who. That's a great reason for that. And then finally we have the Kanban view. This is when you're grouping it by single select. So if you have a single select option, so here is the status. It's in progress, to do, and done. So if I wanted to, in the Kanban, you can see uncategorized. I can just click and drag it to done. And so this is really good if you have like a to-do list and you're in the process of doing something and you want to just keep tabs on the action steps that you have to do. You just click and drag here through that you can just click and drag through the Kanban option. So you can also collapse these stacks, so you can just see what you wanted to see, not the uncategorized. Same with this, you can collapse the done stack and then leave this one out. And you can also add from here. So let's say you have a list of things you want to do. You can just click add new record from here. So grade tests. And then it saves. And to do plan lesson. Oh, and then you can do that and then just click and drag it as you finish it. And when you double click or when you click it, it has all of the fields of the grid view that you created. So I usually start in grid view, figure out the fields I want, and then I go and add whatever views I think will be useful. So that is basically the different views of Airtable. So far we went over the terminology. So we have records, which are the rows, and then fields, which are the columns. We went over the different types of fields you can have. So we kind of went through all those. You definitely want to pause and go back to the video because it is a lot, and it's going to take, like I said, it's going to take time to get used to, but you will love it once you're used to it. Now I just want to quickly talk about the grid view. So I'm just going to come back here for a second. So let's say I wanted to organize this grid. I can add as many grid views as I want. So I can leave one that's just like a master list, and then I can change the views here. So what I can do here is I can sort by name, and it'll sort it for me. I can group. I'm going to unsort it for a second. I'm going to group it. Let's say I wanted to group it by status. It'll group all the things that I have to do, all the things that are in progress, and all the things that are done. That's probably my favorite feature of Airtable, if I'm being honest with you. I love the grouping feature, and I love that you can group it by more than one option. So I can group it by field and then group it by standards after that. So let's say I'm going to go back to my master list for a second, and I'm just going to add random standards here. So let's say this is OA2, OA1, OA1, and OA2. Okay. When I go to my grid view and it's grouped by status, and then I like to name what it's grouped by. Group by status and standard. Okay. So what I like to do is, you can see here now, if I look at just my to-do list, my to-do list is grouped by status. So this is my to-do list. And then it's grouped even further by the standards that it is correlated to. So this is kind of just a random base, so it doesn't really make sense. But once you see the walkthrough of the other bases, it will definitely start to make sense for you. I'm just double checking to make sure I got everything. Yeah, so if you wanted to, so let's say you were buying or using one of my done for you Airtable bases. All you have to do to edit it is once you make a copy of it, you're going to edit it by double clicking the top, the names, and then you can name it whatever you want to name it. Status, you can rename these to whatever you want them to be, and things of that nature. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward once you get used to it. To make a copy of my base, you're going to click this little arrow down and you're going to click duplicate base, and it's going to make a copy there for you. And you can also, what's cool is you can change the color of the base. You can change the image of the base. You can duplicate it. You can add it to Slack if you want. I don't really use it like that. You can share it, but you're going to want to duplicate it and add it to your own workspace. So my suggestion to you is make a workspace for your school and then add everything to that workspace. Like add all your bases that you're going to need. And if you want to know all the bases that you need to get yourself ready for the school year, then check out the links down below. I will link all of the other bases that I think will be super helpful for you for the beginning of the school year. So you can check out that video also. Oh, thanks for watching. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, review, all the things that you have to do on YouTube to let me know that I'm doing a good job. So thank you again for watching. I look forward to sharing another video with you.